Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for the weekly Pop Culture Wrap-Up. That's right everybody, thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is the weekly Pop Culture Wrap-Up. It's the show where I go over the week's pop culture news, mostly comic books and movies. Let's get right into it. Got a lot of solicitations for April to get into. Children of the Atom joins the Dawn of X titles. So we already knew that there were going to be more X-Men titles coming, right? And some people have been complaining that that's maybe too much. I don't think so. There's always been a lot of X-Men books. Hickman recently has tweeted that it's not necessary to read every single one to get the whole story. Yeah, there are going to be crossovers. There's going to be a crossover that kicks off of the Marvel Free Comic Book Day issue for sure, but I am always excited when we have a new X-Men title revealed because I think what Hickman and company have been doing with the X-Men universe is substantially amazing, and I'm very excited. Children of the Atom is written by Vita Ayala with artwork by Bernard Chang. Now, I told everybody that Vita had a next book coming. I talked to them in October at Memphis Con, and I tried to get them to tell me just a little bit about what it was, but they did exactly what they were allowed to do, which was tell me nothing. Here it is, Children of the Atom. Really cool cover with some of the original X-Men on it. However, this book is actually going to focus on new characters of the X-Men universe that are inspired by some of the other characters, right? So you can see the one cover, and then you can see the new characters on the other cover, and you can see where they get their powers from, where they get their inspiration from. Gambit, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Angel, whatnot. Very exciting. And then when you add in the idea that we got from House of X and Powers of 10, and the ideas about the what do they call them? The combined clones that Sinister and company helped breed. The Chimera, something like that. Is that what's going on? Is Sinister already starting to do his dubious brews over at Krakoa? We shall see. Very excited for this. I'm a huge fan of Ayala's work. They are currently working on Morbius for Marvel. I love that book. Bernard Chang's artwork is solid. I'm excited about this. We got a few more X-Men titles announced. X Factor, written by Leah Williams with artwork by David Baldione. So this is X Factor. They're going to be investigating mutant deaths in relation to the resurrection protocol, right? So now we know that when a mutant dies, they have the ability to resurrect them into a cloned body using a copy of their memory and their mind that's kept in various locations across the world by Krakoa and by other members of the X-Men family and all that kind of stuff, right? So, but in order to actually initiate a resurrection, they mentioned that there had to be an investigation to make sure that the death was real, to make sure that the death was valid, because otherwise you're going to resurrect someone and like they still exist. Wouldn't that be weird? I guarantee you we're going to have that happen. Anyway, X Factor is going to be the team that does that investigation. It's got a team comprised of North Star, Polaris, Prodigy, iBoy, Dakin, and Prestige / Rachel Summers. An interesting team. I'm not completely sold on the team. Some of these are not necessarily some of my favorite characters, but I am very excited to see Dakin come back and see what they're going to do with him. North Star's a cool character. Polaris, obviously. Prodigy reminds me back in the days of Web Slingers. You remember that one? Anyway. And also another giant-size X-Men one-shot has been announced. This one focusing in on Nightcrawler. This is the third giant-size X-Men one-shot special written by Jonathan Hickman. Now in this issue, he's going to be joined by Alan Davis on the artwork. That's exceptionally awesome. Exceptionally awesome. Did you get that? Yeah? You like that? Anyway, Alan Davis, of course, was the artist on Excalibur when him and Chris Claremont first kind of launched that title. He's a great artist, especially when it comes to Nightcrawler. And yes, Nightcrawler's back. Nightcrawler is appearing on the Children of the Atom book. Nightcrawler is appearing in this giant-size X-Men. Yeah! Kurt's back. That's awesome. There's going to be an Immortal Hulk miniseries or one-shot. I think it's a one-shot, but don't quote me on that. I think it's a one-shot. It may be a miniseries. I think it's a one-shot. It's called Immortal Hulk, The Threshing Place. And what's really cool about this, and why I'm really excited, is it's written by Jeff Lemire with artwork by Mike Del Mundo. What? Jeff Lemire killing it. He's got the Midas touch. We talked about that on the Top 10 Weekly Comic Books video. Jeff Lemire's got that Midas touch. He's doing a version of the Immortal Hulk, basically another Hulk, another Gamma, irradiated monster has come out of the woodwork and has killed some people, and Hulk's getting blamed, so Hulk has to go investigate it. Mike Del Mundo, it's got a very graffiti-type style that I think works very well for certain comic books. I think tag-teamed with Jeff Lemire on an Immortal Hulk one-shot or miniseries, I think that's fantastic. There's going to be a 5-issue Punisher vs. Barracuda miniseries that's written by Ed Brisson with artwork by Declan Shalvey. That is amazing. Declan's got some of the best, cleanest, most beautiful artwork right now. You can see his artwork gracing the covers of some of the more recent issues of Punisher, not the Rosenberg run, but the run right before that, the Clunan run, right? I love Shalvey's artwork, and I'm really pumped to see this 5-issue series. Ed Brisson is a great writer. I think Punisher is a great character for him to tackle. Taskmaster gets his own series, written by Jed MacKay, with artwork by Alessandro Vitti. There's a Black Widow movie coming out in May, right? And it features Taskmaster, so of course. Yeah, unpopular opinion, I'm not a Taskmaster fan. But I noticed when I shared this in the PCP Army, lots of people were very excited. Lots of people are Taskmaster fans, including Bullseye Bob over at Everything Comics. By the way, if you haven't already, go check out Everything Comics and subscribe. Bob's the cat that does the morning show on Monday mornings, Comics and Coffee with Bueller on Comics with Bueller, and he does his own show. And Bob's just a super cool guy and valued member of the PCP Army. Speaking of that Black Widow movie, the Widowmakers, Red Guardian, and Yelena Belova is a mini-series, I believe. Maybe it's one. I have no idea. I have no idea if these are mini-series or if they're one-shots. They're very unclear in the solicitation. My guess, Immortal Hulk is going to be a one-shot. Taskmaster and Widowmakers are going to be mini-series. We shall see what happens, though. However, Red Guardian, Yelena Belova, characters featured in the new Black Widow movie, so of course, we got to get a comic book to remind us who they are. Devin Grayson, Michelle Bondini are the creative team on this one. That's pretty cool. New Warriors is back. Written by Daniel Kibblesmith with Luciano Vecchio on the artwork. A little bit ago, I started a Twitter account, Let's Talk Night Thrasher. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to keep up with it and had to close it down. But one of my goals when I did that page, and I did a few videos kind of related to that page, but one of my goals was, we got to prove to Marvel that we want Night Thrasher back, and that we want the New Warriors back. Well, mission accomplished. The OG New Warriors meet the new generation. Pretty cool, kind of spinning out of Outlawed, the story that's going to run through Champions outside of a one-shot that Eve Ewing is writing. Another book that's tied into that is Power Pack. Power Pack's got a 5-issue miniseries written by Ryan North with artwork by Nico Leone. And it's going to be tied into the whole Outlawed thing, too. So some of the youth-oriented super teams from Marvel's past, Power Pack and New Warriors, getting new series to go along with Outlawed. They're probably ultimately going to both wind up being mini-series over time, because even if New Warriors is meant to be an ongoing, I don't see it lasting too long. But I hope it's good. I hope it really focuses on the OG team pretty well, along with the new characters, and I really hope that they do Dwayne right. I'm really pumped for that. At DC Comics, we got the Joker War being teased. That's right. So James Tynion IV's first arc on Batman is coming to a wrap-up in April, and the solicitations point out that it's leading into something called Joker War. Well, if you've been reading the Tynion Batman, when it's only been one issue so far, and that one little tease in Tom King's final issue, you get the idea that Joker's got some crazy stuff that he's about to do. So the Joker War is coming, and we shall see what that's going to develop into further. Speaking of the Joker, he celebrates 80 years of existence in April with a Joker 80th Anniversary 100-page giant. It's going to have a bunch of different covers, including decade-related covers, just like the Action Comics 1000, Detective 1000, Flash and Wonder Woman 750. DC realizes how popular that Action and Detective 1000 was, and they're going gung-ho with it, y'all, because we got a Joker one. It's going to have creative work from Brian Azzarello, Paul Dini, Denny O'Neil, Scott Snyder, Tom Taylor, James Tynion, and a slew of fantastic artists. And then they're also doing a Catwoman 80th Anniversary 100-page special. Same thing, lots of variant covers, focusing on each decade version of Catwoman. You got some really popular cover artists that are going to be doing work on those, including Adam Hughes, who's also doing some work on the interior, Art Germ, and a whole bunch of other people. On that book, we're going to have Ed Brubaker and Cameron Stewart show up to kind of do a book throwing back to their run that they did. Paul Dini, Adam Hughes, like I said, Tom King, and Nocenti, so a bunch of different creators coming in to celebrate the legacy of Catwoman, and of course on Joker, so that's pretty cool. From Dark Horse Comics in April, we have a 4-issue miniseries called Dead Dog's Bite. It's by Tyler Boss of 4 Kids Walk Into a Bank. It's a murder mystery type thing. I'm very excited for that one, so be on the lookout for that, because even when we have these big announcements from the big two, don't sleep on some of that independent stuff, because that's some of the best stuff out there. Movies and TV world, we got a few things to hit real quick. The next Bond theme is done by Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish, I'm not necessarily, I wouldn't call myself a fan. My lady is a big fan of Billie Eilish, and so occasionally she makes me listen, not makes, but she has me listen to some stuff, and it's actually pretty good, and I really respect her talent. I am a huge fan of James Bond theme songs. Like, I love James Bond just like most people do. But my favorite aspect of James Bond and the movies and the legacy and pop culture and all that stuff are the theme songs. I find myself to, I consider myself to be a James Bond theme expert, to be honest. By the way, best one, View to a Kill by Duran Duran. There you go. Anyway, Billie Eilish doing that theme, I think it's going to be great. I'm really excited. It's going to be called No Time to Die because that's the name of the movie. Taika Waititi being offered a Star Wars film. I can dig it. I can really dig it, especially since he directed the final episode of The Mandalorian Season 1, plus he did the voice of IG-11. Taika Waititi is pretty good. What We Do in the Shadows, amazing. Thor Ragnarok, I had to let it grow on me. But now that I know who Waititi is, and I understand and respect his style of directing and storytelling, yeah, I'm so pumped for this. I think Taika Waititi would be the director who could make a more modern... I think he would be able to bridge that gap between OG Star Wars and New G Star Wars, right? Like, seriously, you kind of got, like, these differing fandoms. You got the old school fans that really cling to that and don't like the new school stuff. And then you got people that love the new school stuff. And you got people that love the new school stuff and the old school stuff. And sometimes we do talk about the prequels. That's the mid-school stuff. Most people don't like the mid-school stuff, but it's okay. If anybody can take all these despairing... factions of the community, the fan community of Star Wars, and bring it together into one cohesive film that would probably appeal and excite a lot of people. I think Taika Waititi could do that. Watchmen from HBO, no season 2. Seems like Damon Lindelof said, no, I don't want to do a season 2. We only had one story planned. We told it and we're done. So HBO is going to respect their decisions. Wow. Which I find to be kind of ironic. Very ironic for HBO to say, you know what? We're not going to do a sequel to Damon Lindelof's Watchmen because he says that he's told the story he's wanted to tell, and we should respect it, right? That's ironic when we're talking about the Watchmen. I mean, come on, is it not? Because Damon's and HBO's Watchmen only exists because DC went against the wishes of one of the creators of the original Watchmen. Regardless. More Watchmen, it would be cool. But I think that the Watchmen was fantastic. It was great. I know a lot of people being like, oh man, this sucks, no season 2. I never expected a season 2, and I'm happy that they're sticking with their guns, because I don't know, I think that should be just, that Watchmen show is perfection on its own as a sequel to the book, in my opinion. I really do. Gremlins, Secrets of the Mogwai has been confirmed to release in 2021 on HBO Max, which is going to be the new Warner Brothers streaming service. We talked about this when it was briefly mentioned. It's going to, back in the day, like around the con season last year, it's going to be set in the 1920s. It's going to be an origin of the Mogwai. I'm a huge Gremlins fan. I'm super excited. It's going to be animated series. So be on the lookout for that. Animated series-wise, Aquaman, King of Atlantis is going to be a 3-episode animated series on HBO Max. And James Wan is helping create it. So I'm sure it's going to be more of the, my man, badass Aquaman version, but I think that's still cool. A new Aquaman cartoon, always excited for that. And news that just came across my desk moments before I started filming this video. Ex Machina, the movie. So Ex Machina, the Brian K. Vaughan, Tony Harris comic book from DC/Vertigo, they want to make a movie out of it. Well, there's already a movie called Ex Machina from a few years ago, so the movie's actually going to be called The Great Machine. So that's really cool and that's neat. But the news that just rolled across my desk right before I filmed this video was that Oscar Isaac was going to star in it, which really blows me away because Oscar Isaac was in that movie Ex Machina. The reason why they can't call this movie Ex Machina is because another movie exists called Ex Machina, and Oscar Isaac was in that one. So is he really in this, or did someone just dig up an old contract? Anyway, the movie's going to be called The Great Machine. Oscar Isaac, he could be in anything. Seriously, you could put Oscar Isaac, Idris Elba in anything, in any role. I'd be cool with it. In fact, if all of a sudden this August I go to watch Bill and Ted Face the Music, and all of a sudden it's Idris Elba and Oscar Isaac, I wouldn't even be mad. Seriously. Anyway, that's what we got for you this week. What do we got coming up here at PCP? Lots of excitement. We just crossed 6,000 subscribers, so thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. Tonight, here on the YouTubes, that's Saturday night, you can join me on Dylan's Comic Book Rants channel at 7 p.m. U.S. Central Time. That's 8 Eastern. Join us there. Me and Dylan are going to be talking about comic books, movies, pop culture, and a whole lot more over at his channel. Dylan's a super cool cat. He's been a fan of PCP and part of the Army for a good long while now, so jump in there with me and let's chat it up. We'll have, of course, Rockin Robbie live on Sunday night at 6:30 U.S. Central Time. I'm starting it 30 minutes earlier than usual because Dylan's got an interview with Justin Richards at 8 my time. Writer of the upcoming Vault comic book Finger Guns, and I don't want to step on his toes, but I still want to have plenty of time to get our chat in and all that jazz on Sunday night. And then, of course, weekly comic book review, top 10 weekly comic books, all that stuff and more here on the channel, so be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much for checking out the video. Be sure to join us at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts and a whole lot more, and let me know in the comments below any comments about anything we talked about tonight. Are you excited about these X-Men books? Are you excited about these 100-page 80th anniversary specials? Are you excited about Oscar Isaac and yet another Ex Machina? Are you excited about Billie Eilish doing a Bond theme song? Are you excited about Taika Waititi possibly doing a Star Wars film? Because I am. I think that would be amazing. Anyway, let us know in the comments what you think. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on living. Livin.